Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise?
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Oh, shall I stay? Would it be a sin? Oh, if I can't help falling in love with you.
On such a most joyous occasion, begin the wedding ceremony of Sarah and Dillon by asking that centuries-old question, who presents Sarah to be married to Dillon?
I do.
Thank you very much. The guests may be seated. Come forward. Turn to face each other. Take each other's hands. There we go. You two are really tall. So why don't we begin by having you two turn out and face everybody. Two people in love. Two people making a lifelong commitment one to the other. This is why a wedding is just such a wonderful occasion. It is a time filled with hopes and dreams, a little thunder, a little lightning, a little excitement. Today we celebrate the love that Dillon and Sarah have for each other, as well as the love that each and every one of you have given them throughout their lives. Because as family and friends, you're the ones that taught them in the final accounting, love is what life is all about. You've taught them that love is patient, that love is kind, that love is selfless, that love always protects, that love always trusts, that love always hopes, and yes, love always preserves. You are the ones that have shown them the blessings and wonders that come from loving one another. Now, as we rejoice in their marriage today, they first of all want to thank each and every one of you for being here today, because it's obviously you're very special in their lives. But they also wanted to take a moment to recognize and thank some very special people here today, and that is their parents. They've asked me to say on their behalf to thank you for a lifetime of love and caring and support, helping them grow into the man and woman they are today, and husband and wife they are about to become. So on behalf of Sarah and Dillon, thank you very much for all you've done, and let's give them a nice round of applause. You didn't think in middle school they'd be standing here right now, did you? Well, we're here today to see this wonderful couple off on this marvelous journey we call marriage. But let us also be there to see them through whatever life has to bring them. So go ahead and turn and face each other. It's all about the photographers. Well, Dillon and Sarah, it is a joy for me to be standing here today, sharing in your marriage ceremony and witnessing to the lifelong commitment you're making to one another. Now, marriage is the essence of human relationships. It challenges us, as it will challenge you, to be of one accord without abandoning the truth of your individuality. It challenges us not to lose ourselves in one another, but rather to walk side by side, always heading in the same direction. Now, sometimes in marriage, you'll be walking so close together that if others were to look, they would see only one set of footprints. And sometimes in marriage, one will need to carry the other, leaving only one set of footprints, but always heading in the same direction. Still, it is a magnificent opportunity to share one's life with another and to enjoy the adventures that are inherent in the most intimate of human relationships. Now, the vows you're about to say to one another belong entirely to you. The words that I speak today, they have no magical powers. There's nothing that I can say or do on this day that can ultimately make your marriage endure with beauty and fidelity and joy. Only you, by the integrity and the diligence of your love, can make these vows last. Now, it will also help if Dillon does whatever Sarah asks throughout the entire marriage. So, do you agree?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
So it's not to lofty words or institutions that we appeal at this time of commitment, but rather to the resources which you two can draw from within yourselves. So the commitment of two people in marriage, it is of the heart and the body and the mind and the spirit, and it is for the intention of mutual love, help, and comfort through the trials and triumphs of life. It is a relationship not to be entered into unadvisedly or lightly, but deliberately, lovingly, and reverently. So therefore I ask you now, Dillon, do you come here deliberately, lovingly, and reverently? If so, please answer, I do.
I do.
And Sarah, do you come here today deliberately, lovingly, and reverently? If so, please answer, I do.
I do.
Now, having made your commitment one to the other, I ask you now, do you promise that you will feed, walk, and care for Milo all the days of Milo's life? If so, please answer, we will.
We will.
The day I married my best friend, the one I laugh with as we share life's wondrous zest, we find new enjoyments and experience all that's best. The one I live for because the world seems brighter as our happy times are better and our burdens feel much lighter. The one I love with every fiber of my soul. We used to feel vaguely incomplete. Now together we are whole. So we come now to the time of the ceremony for your wedding vows, those words you've been waiting to say one to the other. Maybe one of you's been waiting a little while longer. You've been together a really long time. So obviously you know who's been waiting longer. It's very difficult when a couple's been together for so long and their family and friends here to tell you anything new about their story, but every now and then I get to learn one thing about them that I do get to tell their parents and their families and friends that I know you do not know. I know that at one point along your journey, one of you reached out and touched the other person's hand and you knew that something special was about to begin. I know from that first moment until today you've been holding hands, walking down the street, driving in the car, sitting on the couch watching TV until you stand here today, holding the hands of your very best friend, your family, and your love. From this point forward, these are the hands that are going to work alongside yours as together you build your future. These are the hands that are going to passionately love you and cherish you through the years in which just the slightest touch comfort you like no other can. These are the hands that will comfort you in illness and hold you in fear or grief, fills your mind, and they're the hands that will wipe the tears from your eyes. Tears of laughter, tears of sorrow, and yes, tears of joy. One day, should you so be blessed, these are the hands that will tenderly cradle your children. And that's grandchildren over here, but no pressure. Then these hands will give you support, celebrate with you in your accomplishments, and encourage you to fulfill your dreams. Now you should know it is the hope of every single one of your family and friends here today. Just take a look at them. Take a look at all your family and friends out there. And know that it's their hope for both of you that you'll use these very hands to build a marriage where every single one of your dreams can come true. Now with that, Dillon, if you'll please repeat after me, and don't worry, I've changed the words from yesterday, so get from the rehearsal. I, Dillon, take you, Sarah, to be my wife.
I, Dillon, take you, Sarah, to be my wife.
To have and to hold.
To have and to hold.
From this day forward.
From this day forward.
I promise to cherish you.
I promise to cherish you.
To honor you.
To honor you.
To love and respect you.
To love and respect you.
I promise.
I promise.
To be your safe haven.
To be your safe haven.
And your home.
And your home.
I promise to comfort and nurture you.
I promise to comfort and nurture you.
To be kind and patient.
To be kind and patient.
Forgiving and faithful.
Forgiving and faithful.
I promise this.
I promise this.
With my heart.
With my heart.
And my soul.
And my soul.
I vow to you.
I vow to you.
Before our family and friends.
Before our family and friends.
To dedicate myself.
To dedicate myself.
To our marriage.
To our marriage.
Our friendship.
Our friendship.
And our love.
And our lives.
And our love.
Oh, and our love.
And our lives.
And our lives.
Doesn't matter. It's both the same. All the days of my life.
All the days of my life.
He loves you so much, he added more to the vows. I, Sarah, take you, Dillon, to be my husband.
I, Sarah, take you, Dillon, to be my husband.
To have and to hold.
To have and to hold.
From this day forward.
From this day forward.
I promise to cherish you.
I promise to cherish you,
to honor you,
to honor you,
to love and respect you.
to love and respect you.
I promise
I promise
to be your safe haven
to be your safe haven
and your home.
and your home.
I promise to comfort and nurture you,
I promise to comfort and nurture you,
to be kind and patient,
to be kind and patient,
forgiving and faithful.
forgiving and faithful.
I promise this
I promise this
with my heart
with my heart
and my soul.
and my soul.
I vow to you
I vow to you,
before our family and friends
before our family and friends,
to dedicate myself
to dedicate myself
to our marriage,
to our marriage,
our friendship,
our friendship,
and our love,
and our love,
and our lives,
and our lives,
all the days of my life.
all the days of my life.
And may I have the rings, please? The wedding ring is the visible sign of an inward bond which unites two loyal hearts in endless love. It symbolizes the living together in unity, in love, and with happiness for the rest of your lives. If you'll take her ring, please. Place it on the third finger of the left hand. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a sign of my love
as a sign of my love
and an everlasting reminder
and an everlasting reminder
of the vows
of the vows
I've made this day.
I've made this day.
If you'll take his ring, please. Put it on the third finger. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a sign of my love
as a sign of my love
and an everlasting reminder
and an everlasting reminder
of the vows
of the vows
I have made this day.
I've made this day.
Through these rings and vows, you symbolize your marriage bond. May their meaning sink deep into your hearts and bind your lives together by devotion and faithfulness to one another, in mutual self-consecration and in an ever-deepening love for each other. May you build a marriage filled with faith, with truth, with trust, with love, with joy and goodness. Now, to conclude the ceremony today, Dillon and Sarah have chosen a wonderful tradition that will last through their entire marriage called the Wine Box and Love Letter Ceremony, and I'm going to invite them to come over to the table here. Now, there's a beautiful box sitting on the table right now, and it's got a wonderful bottle of wine in it and two love letters that they've written to each other. Neither knows what the other has written. And what they're going to do is on their first anniversary, they're going to open up the box, they're going to read the love letters to each other and drink the wine. Now, my only marriage counseling to you right now is that if your first anniversary is very challenging, to drink the wine first and then read the love letters. And then on their first anniversary, they're going to write another love letter to each other, put another bottle of wine in the box, and they're going to do this every anniversary, and over the years, the box will become a repository of memories for you and your children and your children's children. So now I'm going to invite you to go ahead and close the box. And on that first anniversary, may the tartness of the wine remind you of all the challenges you've had in your first year. May the sweetness of the wine remind you of all the joy and happiness that you're feeling in this place today. And as you seal the box, let this moment strengthen your marriage now and forevermore.
Oh, please.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Dillon and Sarah, may you have the love that only two can know. May you go where only two as one may go. May the sun rise and set in your bonded hearts, and the moon never find you too long apart. May you cherish each other's dreams as your own, and turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones. May you brave life's mountains and miles together. May there be no storm your love cannot weather. May you be lovers and allies and friends. May your soul's conversation never end. May you capture on earth what's in heaven above, and may your hearts know the rapture of an uncommon love. By the promises you've made this day to each other, by the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia, it is my joy, it is my honor to pronounce you husband and wife and husband together and forever. And now, Dillon, you may kiss your wife. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Dillon and Sarah Torpy.
'Cause you're a sky, 'cause in the sky
Walk it
full
on
of
out.
stars, I think I saw
First of all, thank you everybody for coming. It's been a kind of a crazy weather day, but the hurricane just passed by. I guess we're happy you're all here, we're all safe, and we're all having a good time. Thank you for being here. So, Sarah, Dillon, it's been a long time. We've all been waiting for this day, and we're happy it's here. You two have been in love since you met each other, and you can tell. You respect each other, you help each other, you watch out for each other. I have no qualms that you will protect my daughter, Dillon, and I have no qualms that you'll protect Dillon from everybody else. But every chapter in your life comes with some stories that came out behind. These are funny ones. So, Bones. Why do they call you Bones? All right, I'll tell everybody, because when she was growing up, my father-in-law, he would have her on his knee, and she was so skinny back then, not that she's not skinny now, but all she felt was the bones, and she got that nickname, and it's stuck to this day, 26 years later. You have another name, softball name, called Inspector Gadget. Sarah's a good softball player and a good athlete all around. She ended up, ball will be hit someplace, they throw it to first base. You think it's going to go 30 feet over her head, and here comes these fantastic arms, all of a sudden reaching out, getting the ball, making the play. So she got Inspector Gadget in high school. Dillon, yes, you can have the John Deere. Even though it is 37 years old, it works. So buy a house, I'll will it to you. And I'm still going to be around. I want to watch you drive it. Dillon used to cut our lawn when they were dating. And the first thing he said to Mrs. Hanold, Ronnie, is, do you have a new one? This thing is 20 some odd years old. And he was right, and it still works. One thing that Dillon has a hard time doing, and maybe today will solve that issue forever. He will not call me Bruce, and will not call my wife Ronnie. It's always Mr. Hanold, Mrs. Hanold. It shows respect, and I love that. Okay? We're going to break you of that habit, though, so you do have my permission, our permission, to call us Ronnie and Bruce, or Mom and Dad, but we'll go one step at a time. Ronnie and Bruce. One last quick little story about Sarah. You all, if you have kids growing up, know the wisdom tooth stories. They're online, they're on videos, whatever. One little quick thing, we were taking her home from the dentist after she had all 4 wisdom teeth taken out at the same time. And looking back on some of those videos, other people and hers, they are funny. Scary, but funny. She saw a sign and heard us talking about house sales, and she got so upset because she thought we are selling our house and we have to move. And I mean, really upset. We had to really take a long time to convince her we're staying where we are. That's just a saying, it was somebody else's house. But obviously the drugs do something to your mindset. And it took us a couple of days to calm her down. Really, just to wrap it up, I think this marriage is going to be a great one because you respect everybody, and not just family. Look at the friends you have here, the friends that you've gained over the years. It's amazing that you ask, what is Sarah and Dillon doing this weekend? They've got this friend they're going out with, this friend they're going out with. They have friends over here they're going out with. They're never home, which is a great thing. Your group of friends have stuck together through thick and thin. And I hope it stays that way forever, because it's great to have family, and even better to have family and friends. Respect is what does it. You love each other, we all know that, we can see that. And that was a pretty good dance, because I know you just had started to work on that, and you did a pretty good job. And you look like you enjoyed yourself a lot, so the love is there. There's no doubt about it. You both do a good job cleaning the house. We're going to hire you one of these days because we can't keep up with it. We've been doing it for 37 years. But you guys do a nice job in helping each other do everything as a couple, and I appreciate that. So good luck. Love you both. And I can just wish the best for you. Obviously, you had a rainbow for your pictures today. You've had a storm. All those things are good. It's going to show good for your marriage going forward. Bless you both. Thank you.
Can everyone please bow their heads so we can say grace?
Lord, thank you for this day and this occasion in which we are gathered in celebration of Dillon and Sarah. May the Lord be with them and guide them through their journey for years to come.
Thank the Lord for all who are here and traveling mercies for their return home. Thank you for this meal that we are about to receive. May it nourish us, strengthen us, both physically and spiritually. And we pray, Lord, thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Hey guys, first of all, I'd like to say I'm sorry I couldn't make it, but as you know, I'm busy helping the United States take oil from the Middle East. Mike, thank you for setting this up. This is a much better idea than having you read my speech, because you and I both know reading isn't your strong suit. Dillon and Sarah, your guys' relationship has always been something I've looked up to, both figuratively and literally. I remember when Dillon told me he was going to marry Sarah, and the first thing I said was, "Oh, congrats, that's awesome." Actually, that's a lie. I said something way different. I said, "Bro, what about us?" And he said, "Don't worry, bro, we're going to get matching anchor tattoos." And I was like, "Why, bro?" And he said, "So our friendship never sails away." And I was like, "I love you, bro." And he was like, "I love you too, bro." But then I yelled at him for taking so long to ask you, Sarah, so don't worry, I got your back. Sarah, I'd like to say thank you for being so great to my best friend and dealing with our bromance. I felt like it was just yesterday. We were working in the doghouse and I was asking you to not make lunch for Dillon for school tomorrow so that I could instead. Anyway, I'd love to sit here and tell you true stories I made up all day, but I'll save that for another time. I miss you guys a lot. I can't wait to see you. I love you both so much. Have a great time and Godspeed.
There comes a time in everyone's life when they meet their one true love, their soulmate, the person that is going to know and love them for the rest of their life. That moment came for Dillon 18 years ago when he met me. I guess I should introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mike, and I am Dillon's best man. To be asked by Dillon to be his best man is truly an honor. For me, but also very honorable of him, because he's finally admitting to each and every one of you that I am the best.
Good evening. For those of you I don't know, my name is Katie Dillon, and I have the wonderful pleasure of being Sarah's maid of honor. I feel truly blessed to be here today to support and celebrate the new Mr. and Mrs. Torpy. When thinking about what I wanted to share with you all about this truly amazing friendship Sarah and I have, I found it nearly impossible to narrow down this relationship into 3 minutes or less. I also didn't want to get too cheesy, but then I thought, we're grown adults who have friendship rings, so cheesy fits us perfectly. Sorry, I'm a little emotional. All right, so Sarah and I's friendship began pretty much as the cliche adage you're told when joining a sorority in college. You'll find your best friends, your maid of honor, your sisters for life. I think you would have actually heard the eye rolls when they told us this, but now I'm wondering where our pledge mom Rachel's hiding to tell us that she told us so. I had the best friend to make even greater memories with, and for this I'm eternally grateful. I'm certain that trip solidified that we'd be best friends forever, because anyone who can put up with someone for 24 hours for 14 days straight, and a few hangry spells in there, is genuinely a friend for life.
I would also like to say how beautiful most of you look tonight. I'm glad to see some of you made an effort, but speaking of beautiful, our bride Sarah looks absolutely stunning. Thank you, Sarah, for putting together such an amazing day. I would also like to thank Dillon, but I won't because I know he didn't help plan any of this. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dillon and I growing up were polar opposites. He was smart and driven. I was a class clown. He was athletic. I was and still am incredibly good looking.
Now, the irony isn't lost on me that we met by going out of our comfort zones, because Sarah's brave, confident demeanor has continuously helped me to live more courageously and with less fear. Cinema too, as the Jameson family would say. About 2 years ago, we traveled abroad together. This was something I would have never had the courage to do on my own. However, Sarah made the convincing argument of, why not live a little? It basically became the mantra of the trip and the advice that she's given me to this day. It perfectly embodies her wonderfully daring and lively spirit. It was one adventure after another, but instead of being scared or anxious about being in unfamiliar countries with new experiences, I was eager, I was excited, because I had Sarah I could count on.
What many of you probably don't know is that Dillon and I hate each other growing up. It all started when I stole his girlfriend in elementary school. Then we ended up playing the same position in football, which made the hatred grow even more. We were always trying to one-up each other at every chance we had. During this period of hate with Dillon, I met Sarah. She was at the Knowlton basketball clinic, and I remembered instantly liking her because she was the only girl on the court that would smoke any boy she went up against. Beyond that, she's always smiling and having a great time, and helping other kids at the clinic get better. I knew at that time I wanted her to be my friend. As years passed, Sarah and I continued to grow closer, from sledding in my house, bike rides around our block, and going to each other's basketball games. One day, Sarah let me in on one of her secrets, that she liked Dillon. I told her a million reasons why she should not like him and refused to listen to me. They started dating, and Sarah and I stayed close, but I still really hated Dillon.
Now, Sarah's one of the kindest people I know. Her positive attitude and outlook on life is contagious. Her never-ending love and support for those around her is truly inspiring. Anyone who's lucky enough to call her a friend is better for it. I can count on Sarah for anything. A shoulder to cry on, which I do a lot. A mirror to show me what is sometimes very hard to see. Advice when life is crazy or confusing. A push when I'm being stubborn. And especially a good laugh that makes your stomach hurt. It lasts so long. I can call or text her anytime for anything, and I know she'll be there. Life would simply not be the same without Sarah. She makes it a better adventure.
Fast forward to Thanksgiving break, I think it was 2015. I was going to visit Tim Lurs at Susquehanna, and Dillon wanted to come. I didn't want him to come. But Sarah told me just try hanging out with him, see what happens. Reluctantly, I let him come with me, and I'm so glad I did. We had a blast. We partied, we ate way too much food, and I gained a new best friend. When I lived in Mount Arlington, Sarah and Dillon basically lived with me every weekend. We went to the bar, we played video games, Thursday to Sunday, every weekend. It was like clockwork. After work, Sarah would meet me at the gym, and by the time we were done there, Dillon would be at my house with a bottle of Captain. I should have charged them rent for all those weekends.
Now going to JMU, go Dukes, woo! And joining AST did not only bring me Sarah, it also brought me Dill, who I seriously cannot look at right now if I'm gonna make it to the end of this speech. We have this thing during emotional situations where I can hold it together decently well until the end, unless I look at Dillon. Then the terrible, uncontrollable sobbing starts. Now, it happened a few times, but back in school, I wasn't really sure why. So I thought about it, and I finally figured it out. Anyone who has met Dillon knows you feel instantly comfortable around him. He's a lovely social butterfly that has this way of making people feel accepted and safe in any circumstance. In these types of situations, I just know I can count on Dill for support and kindness with a big hug and an open heart. I simply feel at ease when he asks, who did it and how can I help? He is someone you always want in your corner. Mike and I agree.
One of the funnier moments I have is when they came to spend the night before going to Tim Lurs' house again for Labor Day weekend. Rachel and Tim have specifically let us know that it was first come, first serve to get the spare bedroom in their house. Otherwise, you're sleeping on the floor. Dillon, Sarah, and Mare and I all started joking that we should just go up and sleep at Tim's backyard so they'd be the first ones there in the morning. After about 5 solid minutes of joking around, the joke became pretty serious and we were on our way to Target to buy a tent and sleeping bags. We got to Tim's house around 2 in the morning, set up the tent in the pitch black in the backyard, and sure enough, we were the first ones there in the morning.
Dillon protects and cares about those in his life with all of his being. He is such an incredible person, and it makes me so happy that he's the one for my best friend. All right, I'll look at you, but I don't know if I can make it. Ever since I've known you, you've been Sarah and Dillon. You two were made for each other. Two complementary halves to a whole. From high school sweethearts and college lovebirds to puppy parents and now newlyweds, your journey together is well on its way. You each contribute amazing qualities to this relationship and bring out the absolute best in one another. You radiate happiness. Your bond is incredibly rare and one that I admire wholeheartedly. It's strong, it's resilient, and together you can take on the world. Your devotion to each other is the definition of true love. You guys are my favorite.
But truthfully, because of Sarah, I now have a best friend who is there for me no matter what, whether it's just to have a beer to talk about life, or moving my stuff into a new apartment, or just let me know I'm being an idiot when making a stupid decision. Dillon is the friend you call at 1 a.m. in the morning to tell him you need help. He'll be there, and maybe Sarah, by 2 a.m. max. He's someone you want in your corner, not just because he was a crazy wrestler in high school. Dillon, I'm so glad to have you in my corner.
Now we've made it to the end, so we're good. We're gonna raise our glasses to the new Mr. and Mrs. I wish you all the bliss and happiness in your happily ever after. Congratulations, I love you guys.
I love you guys. I can't wait to create more memories. To Sarah and Dillon.